Well, hello, my friends. I would ask you, as always, to take a nice, easy breath in. Make that easy ah sound. Ah. Just feel the relief of that, eyes opening. So I want to touch base really briefly today on a subject that we approached recently, which is the space in between. You know, as Miles Davis talked about, that the key to music was the space in between the notes, and that we also want to understand that's a huge part of what stress means, is not feeling like we have enough space. So, you know, it's that relationship to always looking towards the future for some major event, or to the past as some major event, as though the moments that knit in between are not as crucial to us as the big moments, the moments in which we get married or have a child or whatever it might be. My suggestion is that every day is equally important. And by learning to be in direct contact with it, we end up beginning to charge our batteries and heal our wounds. You know, so I would like to relate this to what I actually, another element that I call, many of you have heard me talk about this in the past, is what I call existential fatigue and existential exhaustion. So to me, existential fatigue is when you've had too many disappointments. And it starts early in our lives. It starts in childhood. You know, many of us, most of us, of course, if not all of us, have had moments in our childhood which were disappointing. Maybe things that our parents weren't able to handle to the best levels that we might have needed. Or maybe even our own relationship to the way things went wasn't exactly accurate. In any case, we begin to have these disappointments. And they go on in life. Disappointments in love, disappointments in goal structures, not fulfilling certain goals that we hope to achieve. It continues on and all the way into adulthood, you know, the grind of disappointment that comes as an adult. So to me, existential fatigue, the best example of it that I've talked about in the past is that famous picture of the woman in the Depression in the 30s who's got a child on either arm and is staring off in the distance. And she has that sort of blank stare that gives you the sense that the person's not actually looking at something. That's existential fatigue. It's so many disappointments. And many of us in this last period have been dealing with that. Not just disappointments in our communities, but disappointments in our government, disappointments in the way we see people acting in the community, in the nation, and around the world. Around the world, we are being buffeted by the winds of existential fatigue, in much the same way as that young woman was. Now, to me, existential exhaustion is when you can't push on. Existential fatigue is when you are able to keep pushing. You have something you're working to do, you're taking care of your children or your responsibilities. Existential exhaustion is when we just can't go on. It's when the pilot light flickers off and we just can't even push ourselves to do more. And so these are very dangerous states. It's almost like having a car and having the alternator go out, and so that you're able to run it and you're able to start the car, but you're going on that battery power. If you're not recharging, you're not enabling that battery to stay powerful. And of course, eventually what ends up happening is the battery will fall so low that it can't even hold a jump. You can't recharge it. And that's when we really run into problems, and we can do that as human beings. You know, so we have to keep recharging our battery. And the space in between is the moment that we recharge our battery. That's the moment of light. Light is always in the present. That's the moment of love. Love is also always in the present. So I want to encourage you to really be present in the space in between the big moments of your life, because that is what recharges us. Every day is just as important as any other day. So I'm asking you, if you would, to be aware of the moments in between and notice existential fatigue and existential exhaustion. Don't play games. It's important that you recharge your batteries. Every day, do immersive practice. Practice that is so overwhelming that it helps to bring down the inflammation. Practices like breathing techniques or nice long walks. So here we go, ringing the bell. The great thing about existential fatigue is that if we take it seriously, it can be part of what actually creates a different direction in our life. I'm going to bring my hands into prayer position, and I bow to you because you can accomplish your goals today. Namaste. Thank you, my friends. Have a wonderful day.